here we go. Here's a perfect question. My thoughts on the PewDiePie shit. Okay. I guess this is a good enough spot to start. Oh, I guess I should get rid of that please stand by thing, shouldn't I? Yeah, let's fix that. Okay. So, the whole thing with PewDiePie, all this shit, for those of you, like, who don't know about all this PewDiePie, crap that's been going on, apparently, Disney, who owns Maker Studios, has dropped PewDiePie from Maker Studios. Now, I know some people are going to think, well, who cares? It's fucking, Maker Studios. It really shouldn't matter much. The thing about this, guys, is I actually see this as a big positive for... I see this as a big positive for PewDiePie, and I will explain why in a second. But first, let's just talk about the actual situation here. All the shit that has been going on involving what the fuck's his real name? Felix? Felix and all this other stupid shit. So we have, I guess, papers which used to be reputable, sources that used to matter, sources such as the Wall Street Journal, essentially writing hit pieces against PewDiePie, which is absolutely disgusting. But what my issue is that they apparently went through PewDiePie's thousands of YouTube videos, his thousands of various Let's Plays and streams and, like, sketch videos and all this other shit. And out of those thousands of videos, they found 9. I'm going to stress this again. Thousands of videos. 9 of them where the punchline to a joke is lol Nazi. And that apparently means that PewDiePie is a Nazi. What the fuck kind of correlation is that? Let me just try to put this in a different light for people, because let's just look back at a movie. I'm talking about the 1960s Casino Royale. There is a scene where I believe it was Peter Sellers is in full Nazi garb for like 2 seconds. It was meant as a punchline. It really wasn't a funny punchline, but goddammit, at least I'm able to understand that it's a punchline, because unlike the people at the fucking Wall Street Journal, I actually know what a joke is. But see, I don't look at that 2-second shot and go, oh my god, Peter Sellers is totally a fucking Nazi. Confirmed, ha 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 ha. No, it was something that he did as a fucking goof. It was part of the script, and it was a joke. The problem with what the Wall Street Journal and what the Daily Dot and all these other shitbag news sources have done is they've taken those punchlines out of context. So, in fact, they actually have taken them so far out of context that there is no context. That it's just that PewDiePie is, wearing a fucking officer's cap and, doing this and this and this, and that apparently means that he is a Nazi, which is the stupidest goddamn thing I've ever heard. Now, while I'm on that subject, I want to sort of broaden this out a touch, because publicly, this, I've noticed, has become a huge problem. The problem with people hunting for supposed Nazis. This whole thing has turned into a witch hunt. It has turned into the same kind of bullshit we saw way back in the day when the U.S. was trying to hunt down communists, and unfortunately Wisconsin Senator McCarthy was basically on this wild hunt for fucking communists, and if you had any sort of communist anything, then fuck you, you were totally a fucking communist. That's basically what's going on here, where the fucking left, the far left, the liberal left, whatever the hell you want to call them, are calling everybody Nazis. They are calling PewDiePie a Nazi because he cracks fucking jokes. They're calling Milo Yiannopoulos a Nazi. Process this for a minute. Milo is gay. He's Jewish. He likes the company of black guys. The only things that are missing is if he was a gypsy and Polish, he could have ticked off every box on the Nazi hate list. Yet apparently, he is a Nazi. Go fucking figure. I'm so sick and tired of these idiots throwing labels out there that do not work. Everybody who voted for Trump is not a Nazi. Everyone who voted for Trump is not a fucking fascist. They're just people. I voted for Donald Trump. I am not a Nazi. I am not a fascist. I voted for him because he, out of all the candidates, seemed to be the one who would do the least amount of damage, you know, as president. Oh, yeah, and JonTron. They also called John... They called JonTron a Nazi because he was in a stream with Sargon. What the fuck does... They do understand that Sargon's a liberal, right? That Sargon is a left... That he fucking leans to the left and has blasted the far right just as much as he blasts the far fucking left. But even he's open about calling himself... You know, and even... Oh, Jesus Christ. Even Sargon says that he is a liberal. Nazis are not exactly liberal. But apparently because JonTron showed up on a stream with fucking Sargon, that makes him a Nazi. I don't know how. I don't care how. Now, I guess I should stress, when it comes to a lot of these people, when it comes to PewDiePie or JonTron or Milo, I don't follow these people. So I usually have to pick up all of this shit when it gets mentioned on YouTube or when it gets mentioned on Facebook. All of a sudden, I know about it. And really, I don't much care because it doesn't bother me that much. But still, the fact that these people are being drugged through the mud is wrong. Because they haven't done anything wrong. Milo is just a fucking blogger with a wide reach. I don't care that he's gay. I don't care that he's gay. I don't care that he's, you know, Jewish. I don't care that he's apparently a Republican. I don't give a shit. I really don't. Because none of that matters to me. I don't care that JonTron was in a stream with Sargon, because that doesn't matter to me. I don't care that, you know, Felix PewDiePie is cracking Nazi jokes in his videos. More power to him. Let him have his fucking fun. Now, I mentioned earlier that this could all be seen as a positive for PewDiePie, for Felix, and I'm going to explain why. Because this is something a lot of people have not talked about, and it kind of sort of surprises me. You see, because for the longest time, he has been a part of Maker Studios. In fact, his very presence, his very web presence, and his presence as a part of Maker was the reason why Disney bought Maker Studios in the first place, because it was the network that housed the biggest channel in all of YouTube. Now, I've gotten a lot of offers from multi-channel networks over the past, 2 years. I've gotten offers from pretty much all the big ones except for Maker. Maker never bothered to come to me, which is probably a good thing. Now, you might have noticed I said I got offers. That means I never signed up with any of them. I did not sign up for, broadband TV. I didn't sign on with, God, what the fuck are some of those other ones? Machinima, I think, once came to me. Just all these different multi-fucking channel deals have all come to me, and the reason why I don't sign up for them is because of the simple fact that they want to take a little bit of your earnings, essentially because they fucking can. And the average amount which they take from you in terms of how much you make per video is about 30%. Now, because PewDiePie was such a big deal, they were probably taking less in order to make him happy. So who knows? Perhaps maybe Maker was only taking 10% or 5% or 2% of what he was making. But no matter how you spin it, Maker was still taking some of PewDiePie's revenue. But now that he's built up this massive fan base of people who will totally watch him no matter what, people who will totally support him no matter what happens from this point forward, who will watch him no matter who's carrying him or who drops him, this now means he will get 100% of the money earned from ads. I totally understand. I understand entirely that PewDiePie is not focused on money. That much there is sort of obvious. He hasn't really... He really hasn't been vocal about making money on YouTube or, you know, any of these other things. So, obviously money is not, you know, the biggest thing to him, which is awesome. That is incredibly, incredibly admirable. But I honestly am looking at the silver fucking lining now. The biggest channel on YouTube is finally going to be able to keep every cent it earns from ads. And that is awesome. And Maker and Disney can both take that and shove it right up their fucking asses. So, I actually see some people are commenting about the fact that it seems kind of funny that Disney would fire fucking PewDiePie over Nazi things because they did that Donald fucking Duck cartoon in the 40s. I'm gonna say right now that bringing up that as if it matters is basically doing the same thing that the Wall Street Journal did, because I've actually watched that short many times. I've seen it, and the whole thing, I am just going to spoil the ending of the short, is that Donald wakes up and basically finds out that the whole thing about him being a Nazi and heiling Hitler and all this was a fucking nightmare, and that he's more than happy to be living in the U.S. The whole short was anti-Nazi propaganda. Unfortunately, people are totally willing to basically take screenshots out of context and pretend that somehow means something, and that honestly is why so many people are pissed off at the fucking Wall Street Journal and IGN and the Daily Dot and all these other fucking sources who have bitched about PewDiePie, because they're taking his shit out of context. And I really think that all of us are better than, you know, them. I really don't think we need to, you know, drag up a fucking anti-Nazi Disney cartoon from the 40s and try to fucking pretend that it's, you know, somehow this horrible Nazi thing. And Disney did a Nazi thing. Yeah, Disney did quite a few Nazi shorts, in all seriousness. Probably their best one, which I've watched probably about a dozen times in my fucking life. It is fantastic. I believe the short is called Education. I believe it's called Education in Death. And if you guys ever get the opportunity, look it up. It is such an awesome fucking short. I love it. So, I just wanted to clear up that part. Now let's go back to the whole PewDiePie and the current Nazi fucking witch hunt that is going on in the fucking world. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. Once more, I have to stress, I am not a fan of PewDiePie. I have tried to watch his videos at least a dozen times. In most cases, I just don't find them funny personally. Now, with that said, I am going to support PewDiePie 100%, no matter what he does from this point forward, involving Maker and involving Disney, because this honestly is not about the quality of the man's work. This is not about, you know, anything like that. This, guys, is about free speech. And I'm going to tell you right now, if there's one thing I cannot stand, it is the censoring of free speech. When there is some kind of a mob mentality coming in and trying to shut down somebody else's ability to fucking speak, I get pissed. Because even if it is speech that I do not personally support, God damn it, you have every right to say it, because you have that given freedom of speech. So every time I hear that there are protests that are shutting down a Milo speech at some fucking college, I get really pissed. And it's not because I'm a fan of Milo personally. It is because they are stopping him from exercising his freedom of speech, and that is fucking disgusting. Straight up. You have every right to protest him for what he says. However, when your protests get to a point that his speech gets shut down and the college refuses to let him speak, that is when I have a problem with it. I am totally behind. If you do not agree with something that someone says, that is totally fine. That is awesome. But you do not at any time attempt to shut down what that person says or how they wish to say it. And I've noticed that we've had this little problem in the past few years where people have been trying to shut down speech. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you seriously believe that you have the right to say whatever the fuck you want, then you have to be willing to allow other people to say what they want. And that is where the far left and the social justice warriors do not understand. Is they are totally willing to sit there and say that they have every right to essentially say that gender is similar to Baskin fucking Robbins because there's 31 flavors of gender. And as wrong as that is, they personally believe that they have every right to say it, and then they will shut down Milo because he says that feminism is cancer. Listen, my personal thoughts on free speech are very simple. It's either all okay or none of it is. Okay? If you want to sit there and you want to say that white people are evil because of this and this and this and this and this, that's totally fine, but you also have to be totally fine with somebody throwing racial fucking slurs or making Nazi fucking jokes or making jokes about trannies. You have to be fine with that if you want your speech to be fine also. It's either all okay or none of it is. Plain and simple. Now, why don't we move on to another subject? This has been kind of a heavier, topic, and I never thought I would get that, I guess that's kind of sort of like a politically driven thing. I normally don't do that on these streams. I normally try to have a little bit of fun. Slightly trying to segue to a different topic. Did I mention Maker owns iDubbbz, a person who's known for non-PC jokes? Seriously? Wait. So, let me see if I understand this. So, Maker has iDubbbz under contract. iDubbbz, the guy who made a big deal about some fucking chick saying fucking nigger and then giving him shit for also saying nigger. It was a real stupid, drama-ish thing. But it all focused on that one word. That guy, iDubbbz, is a part of Maker Studios. He's under contract from Maker Studios. He made a big deal over that, but they got rid of PewDiePie for cracking a couple of Nazi jokes. No offense, I honestly kind of sort of think that iDubbbz is the worse of those two. Just saying.